tonight. Maybe we can see the morning light. Maybe everyone can go to hell. Maybe I don't need your calls for help again. I'm your friend. Oh, I'm just waiting on a wild sun. Oh, well, I'm just waiting on a wild sun. And I sold my friends and I sold my friends. Oh, well, I'm just waiting on a wild sun. Crashing thunder running through my mind. An eerie feeling running down my spine. Yeah, you're slowly turning in tonight. My hands are shaky and I don't feel right again, my friend. Oh, I'm just waiting on a wild sun. Oh, well, I'm just waiting on a wild sun. And I sold my friends and I sold my friends. Oh, well, I'm just waiting on a wild sun. Maybe all the lies they told us were all true. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to stop this night. Maybe all the dreams I had were never real. I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel this. So I'm just waiting on a wild sun. Oh, well, I'm just waiting on a wild sun. And I sold my friends and I sold my friends. Oh, well, I'm just waiting on a wild sun. Oh, well, I'm just waiting on a wild sun. Oh, well, I'm just waiting on a wild sun. Oh, well, I'm just waiting on a wild sun. Oh, well, I'm just waiting on a wild sun.
Good morning to you. Start your day off bright and shiny. Get up off your little hiney and begin your happy day.
Let me ask you something. When you come in on Monday and you're not feeling real well, does anyone ever say to you, sounds like someone has a case of the Mondays?
No. No, man. Shit, no, man. I believe you get your ass kicked saying something like that, man.
Good morning. I'm here. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up!
What is dark matter? Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Where everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Okay, dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe the dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there.
There was one?
There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard.
Oh, TGIM. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the IRONWORX. We are streaming live on the Iron Realm Media channels on both YouTube and on Rumble. Yep, and I think I just expended all the energy that I've got. So that's it. We're done.
Did you say TGIM?
Yeah. TGIM.
I think I've ever heard you use that one before.
Really? I think I may have. I mean, any day you wake up, any day you wake up's a good day.
That's right. But to be thankful it's Monday? No. Well, how was your weekend?
Uneventful. About the best I did was cut the grass. But it's raining its ass off now, so at least I got the grass cut.
There you go.
How about you, sir? How was your weekend?
Good? Yeah, not too bad. About the same. Uneventful. Got, all the odds and ends done. Well, I found a truck. I'm going to take it for a test drive, possibly today if I get off in time.
I didn't realize you were looking for a new one.
Yeah. Baby girl's she's not safe on the road anymore.
Uh-oh.
The frame is just so rusted. It's not something you want to have. It's not like popping a tire.
Right.
Or something like that going out. Even the brakes going out, like when I was heading to your house that one day. Going down the highway to go step on the brake and the pedal just goes to the floor. I was like, oh my God. No, it'd be way worse than that if the frame, decided to give way. Which I haven't seen with my own eyes, but I've seen videos of people driving down the road and their truck just snap in half in the middle. And I don't want it to be me.
No, that probably wouldn't.
No, I'm going to find a farm and just donate it to a local family-run farm.
So what are you looking at?
Still got some life.
What are you going to test drive?
An F-150.
What year?
Just a little bit newer. I think it's an 06.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll stick with F-150s. This last one lasted me 21 years, so.
It's going to be hard to say goodbye.
Man, I've been dreading it already. I've been thinking about it a lot. It's going to be real hard.
I bet. There's not many relationships I have, with the exception of my son, that have lasted 21 years, let alone with a vehicle.
Yeah, she's been a great girl. Never left me stranded anywhere.
Christ, I can't even say that about my ex-wife.
Yeah, good trucks are special. They are. I just feel so bad. I told her I'd drive her until she died. I just don't feel safe in her anymore.
No sense in her taking both of you out.
Yeah, exactly. I figure this way maybe someone will get a couple more years out of her. putting around on a farm or something like that.
The broken frame might not be too dangerous when you're in Granny Low.
Yeah, exactly. In a field or something like that, you know, driving around a farm, dirt road. A lot better than going down the highway.
Uh-huh.
Having something like that happen. Yeah, I wouldn't even sell it to somebody to drive on the road. I just wouldn't feel right about it. But yeah, it's going to be hard. I've already just about shed a tear thinking about it.
I bet. I've been debating.
I'm going to find her a good retirement home.
Been debating on trading mine in for a truck.
Something about a truck.
Something about a tow hitch. Being able to use a tow hitch would be nice.
Really come in handy. Well, we have been joined by a quiet gentleman. We haven't introduced him, but I never stopped him before. You still hanging out, Nuka?
I saw him in chat. He was saying hi. He may be getting everything. Oh, no.
Hey, guys.
There he is. What's up, Ukulele Kuduma?
Sorry, I was reading an article about erectile dysfunction here.
Priorities.
Apparently 50% of men suffer from it.
Really?
Which is in the age range of 40 and 70.
Well, that would make sense.
I'm still saying.
I think
Sorry about you guys.
I'm just now hitting into that time frame. Guess it makes sense I'd be in the good 50 percentile.
Interesting read. A lot of people seem to think it's about, it's more in the head than a physical sort of problem.
Tell that to a diabetic.
So what's the longest you've ever owned a vehicle, Nuka?
That I owned, that was mine, that I bought with my own money.
Yeah, or just,
or stole.
Had
Whatever.
a relationship with the vehicle. Yeah.
Because I had one when I was in college that was bought by my father. I had that for 4 years. Then I sold it, and then I bought my own. And then I sold that one, and I bought a new one. So I've had my current one for 5 years.
You ever get attached?
No, not really. I'm not a car person.
Yeah, I'm not really a car person either. I just, after 21 years, the same vehicle, you just kind of get attached.
If it's reliable, I can see why that would happen.
Well, yeah, that's why it's so hard, because she's been so reliable.
Yeah, I just wanted a car from point A to point B and to pick up chicks when I was in college. That was the main thing. If I could pick up chicks with a bus pass, I would have just carried on riding the bus. That's what it is.
Do you have a lot of people driving trucks down there?
We call them SUVs, and yes.
Now, see, an SUV here is kind of like a truck, but it has like a hatch over the back. Like it doesn't have a truck bed. Okay.
Like a truck with a hatch, that would be a truck to us. SUV is basically a big car that has 4 doors. It's usually all the housewives and all the middle class, upper middle class people that can afford a nice one. But like I said, the Chinese guys have made a lot of affordable SUVs. Just don't know how long they'll last. So there's a lot of those on the road at the moment. Cheap
I saw a video just last night. Apparently there's a guy, if I remember correctly, he's in Texas. But you can go on and buy like a giant 2.5-ton military truck. And he will go through and he will modify it and put like power steering and air conditioning and a radio and things like that in it. But these big deuce and a halves are just like the top of the hood comes to the roof of like a normal big pickup truck. Says you can get one of these deuce and a halves once you get it customized. It's going to run about maybe even a little cheaper than a new truck. And I was just looking at the size of this thing, and it's ridiculous. But apparently you can get one stock, like from the government, for only about $10,000. And then the customizations will cost you from there. But yeah, I was kind of surprised. Not like the big Humvee.
And what's the insurance like on something like that?
I'd be real curious. Probably not cheap. I can't imagine. God bless it.
And don't you guys have to have insurance if you're on the road in your country?
Yeah. That sucks, Justin. Got denied his license reinstatement. Has to be riding the bus for another year at least. That sucks. I'm sorry.
And what happens if you don't have insurance and you get in an accident? Will they arrest you?
Not necessarily. At least not right then and there.
No, like most cops, it's in their database, right? So they have license plate readers that will go around and just read license plates without them even having to punch in the numbers. And it'll pop up, bloop, unregistered or no insurance with this registration. Like the insurance companies and the police force, it's like all intermingled now. Now they do have issues to where you still can have insurance and it may not be in their system the right way. I've seen that happen. But yeah, they kind of have a heads up on who has and who doesn't have insurance while they're driving already. And I think it's a ticket or something like that. It might depend on what state you're in.
As long as you're not involved in an accident. If they just catch you driving without the insurance, it'll probably just be a ticket.
Now what happens if they catch you without a license either?
They're probably going to get the car towed.
Yeah, there's a good chance you might end up going away then.
Yeah.
But I will say this, riding the bus is much better than trying to drive without a license and getting pulled over and arrested and stacking up court dates that you don't show up to.
Yeah.
I speak from experience.
So if they stop you and there's no license and no insurance, they'll impound your car and you have to walk, get an Uber or whatever?
Well, like, if you have no license, there's a good chance they will probably arrest you.
For not having a license?
Well, for driving without a license, yeah. I mean, there's no law that says you have to have a license, just if you're going to drive a car on the road.
Right. You're not in an accident and they'll still arrest you.
They can arrest you for fishing without a license.
Yeah, well, I get that part. Some fish are endangered and all this other crap. But anyways, doesn't matter. It's just your country is such a weird place. Like we are only forced to get insurance when you buy a new car. If you buy a new car, you can't take it off the lot until you come with insurance papers, and then you can take it. But you can pay just one premium of the insurance and never pay it again. They don't care after that. Only just to check it out, just to get it out of the lot, you need the license. You need insurance. And if you get caught without a license, you just get a fine, and they put you back in the car that you're driving without a license to drive it again. And they never ask for insurance. That's your problem. If you get in an accident, the cops get called, they show up to the scene, and they're there to do the paperwork for you if you have insurance. To say this happened, they think it's this person's fault, whatever, then you can go and claim from your insurance if you have insurance.
Sure.
Otherwise,
so say you get caught speeding, right? They don't ask you for your insurance when they pull you over?
No, they'll ask for your license.
Wow, like license, insurance, and registration are the three different identifiers that you have to present.
Yeah, not yet.
You
You
have
just need
to
your license.
show the registration of the vehicle to show that it's, the VIN number
You don't even
matches
have
the
to
license
have
plate and all that stuff.
Yeah, but you don't even have to have the physical license. If you have a picture of your license, that will do.
Yeah, that'll work here. You don't even have to have a picture. You can just give them your name and date of birth, and they can run it that way.
Nah, see, I know for Missouri at least that that's not good enough. If you're driving, you've got to have the actual thing. They may not arrest you if they can look it up and see that you've got one, but you'll still get a ticket for not having your actual physical license.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you're not supposed to be driving without it.
Country is just about making money. That's all it is. The mere fact
Oh,
that
yeah,
the insurance
revenue.
companies work with the cops, they have their own system to find you if you don't have insurance. It's just about making money. It's stupid.
Well, the fact that you can't even really use insurance proves that it's all about money. Like, you've got to have insurance in case you get in a wreck, but if you get in a wreck and you use the insurance, then the insurance cancels you because you actually used the service you paid for. That's the way that works.
They can't have that.
Nope.
They'd go out of business.
What do you filed a claim? You had the nerve to file an insurance claim with your insurance company? You're gone. You're done. Nope. Policy dropped. Go find a new insurance company that you can carry and use and not ever have to file a claim with. Because that's how insurance works.
I'm guessing.
You have to have it, but you can't use it. Or you don't get it.
I'm guessing you guys then don't have like an outsurance, insurance bonus. We call it an outsurance thing. Because here, a lot of the insurance companies, when you insure your car, your house, or whatever else, after 3 years, if you haven't claimed, you get a certain percentage of your premiums back. So they'll just pay it out in cash for you.
Some do. I think it depends on the insurance company. Some will lower their rates if you can go without getting tickets. Or if you get tickets and your rates go up, if you can go for a while and not get points on your license, then they will reduce it back down eventually.
Okay. At least they do something for you. I thought maybe you get nothing. And small claims here don't affect your payouts. So if you like damage your windscreen, you need that repaired, or your brakes or something like that, you can still claim from them and they'll do it for you. It doesn't affect you. It's like big claims. Then you won't get your out bonus.
Yeah, see, and we can file little claims like that without losing the insurance. They won't cancel you right out for small claims like that. But what it will do is just jack your rates way the fuck up. Like, if you get in an accident and use the insurance, they'll drop your policy. If you have like a broken windshield and use your insurance, well, they might just double your premiums. You can still have their insurance. You just got to pay a shit ton more because you've used it.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, it's in our laws. It's written into our laws that they can't do that just because you claimed. The mere purpose of having insurance is that you you might get in an accident and you might need it. So they can't be prejudiced against you for using the insurance that you are paying.
I bet you they could, though. If you've got 1,000 customers that are paying you money and 1,000 customers all get in an accident on the same day and 1,000 customers all file claims on that day, and you've got to pay out 1,000 claims, chances are as an insurance company, you're not going to have the money on hand to be able to do that. That's how they operate here in the U.S. at least. You don't have to be able to afford to cover everybody. You just have to be able to set up the business to take their money and tell them that you will. You don't have to be able to do it.
Yeah, with the law, the way it works, like your same scenario, 1,000 people, 1,000 accidents, you have to pay out 1,000, whatever. If you don't have the money, the government, because of its laws, has to front up the rest of the cost. So everybody that has insurance will get paid. It just means your company might go under. But whatever the shortfall is, the government will pay to the citizens, because you have to use your insurance. The only time insurance does go up in my country is with inflation. So whatever the inflation rate is, if it's like 1.7% or something, then your premium will go up 1.7%. So it ends up being something like 20 cents, 30 cents, whatever it is. But yeah, that's the only time it goes up.
Must be nice.
Wants to pay for something they might never use. I wouldn't call it nice.
I've never used my
Insurance is
insurance.
expensive. Yeah,
I've never ever used, not one time. Fuck a shit. How much money I paid in insurance? Shit. Since I was 17. Good Lord. 29 years.
And they've never given you anything back for being with them for so long.
Nope.
And one claim can get them canceled like that after 29 years of service. That's all it takes. It doesn't mean they will, but usually. And Laura's right.
This would be like,
you don't necessarily need to have insurance. You can personally indemnify yourself if you've got enough money in an account somewhere and say, hey, should I hurt somebody or kill somebody, I've got money on hand right now specifically dedicated to taking care of that family and making that family at least.
I know in Indiana it was $50K you had to have in like a trust or whatever that was set aside specifically for that. I'm sure each state is different. But yeah, Indiana was $50K you had to have set aside for liability. Like you said, if you hurt somebody else and fixing their vehicles and all that stuff. I think I lost you there for a sec.
Well, I see there's no list today. You're a minute away from the break.
Yeah, we did it.
We done did one. At the very least.
Whoa. Picking up my coffee.
Yeah, I'm going to need me a little bit more coffee, too. So I'm going to go do that. You guys stick around. Don't you go anywhere, because we're going to be right back with 3 more segments. First one is in the books of the IRONWORX. We'll be right back.
On the roof getting high. Blow my smoke in the sky, still ignoring advice. On the roof getting high, sipping on my so cold. Live it up till I'm dead, ignorance in my head. Fuck whoever you are, I do a flow floats my boat. Blow my smoke in the sky, still ignoring advice. On the roof getting high, sipping on my so cold. Live it up till I'm dead, ignorance in my head. Fuck whoever you are, I do it floats my
I'll be
boat.
after that, half and half on a Palmer G. I got your girl calling, told me meet me at the beach. I'm with hollering in Main Street of the colony. Starlight was bright with the last night. Now she's calling. The rules might bend to break, that'll remain hidden. Like we're throwing down when Mary's away on business. That's Zack says, flower dress, long hair, blurred nights, but we still taking care. We rep the fam. Wake up way too early, get some food and dine and dash. Too hungover to know the difference between this and that. Focus on how to open her up and approach her with class. Weekends lose they meaning every evening like the last.
Blow my smoke in the sky, still ignoring advice. On the roof getting high, sipping on my so cold. Live it up till I'm dead, ignorance in my head. Fuck whoever you are, I do it floats my boat. Blow my smoke in the sky, still ignoring advice. On the roof getting high, sipping on my so cold. Live it up till I'm dead, ignorance in my head. Fuck whoever you are, I do it floats my boat.
I can't keep up with the tempo. That's right, he's right, alright, let's ride. Now, what you tryna get into? Let's find some time tonight. Yeah, rooted and forget to pick up the 750 a dry gym for Fifth Ave liquors. Us kids are wavy, waving the sweeties on the street. Sticker slap the fam logo right up on the damn hood of a Jeep. No cloud in the sky, but clouds in my mind. She with another man, now wondering why. Comfortable surrounded, never not the full stride. We'll see your ass tomorrow, so don't call it goodbye. And
blow my smoke in the sky, still ignoring advice. On the roof getting high, sipping on my so cold. Live it up till I'm dead, ignorance in my head. Fuck whoever you are, I do it floats my boat. Blow my smoke in the sky, still ignoring advice. On the roof getting high, sipping on my so cold. Live it up till I'm dead, ignorance in my head. Fuck whoever you are, I do it floats my boat.
I can't keep up with the tempo. That's right, he's right, alright, let's ride. Now, what you tryna get into? Let's find some time tonight.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is the bright side. Bring your friends and shut it down. I hope everyone's having a good time playing it. Summer of 2012. If it's summer of 2040, play this shit a little bit louder. Cause we making timeless music, man. This is the fresh air movement. And if you don't fuck with us, that's fine. Yeah.
Don't kill my buzz, don't kill my vibe, just because you never tried.
Damn it, I was so close. So effing close. I had to heat up coffee and shit. Damn it.
Hi, this is Alan. I like IRONWORX because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love IRONWORX with Josh, Walt and Zack. It's like sitting in your front room having a cosy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that IRONWORX with Josh, Walt and Zack, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the IRONWORX.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Media is the best on the plane. To this show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to the IRONWORX with Zack, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the IRONWORX and become an Iron Scout.
Good morning. Ding, ding, ding. Ba, 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 bow, bow, ba, 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 bow. Good morning. Ba, bow, bow, ba, 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 bow. Good morning. Ba, bow, bow, ba, 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 bow. Beautiful day. Ba, 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 bow. It's a beautiful day. Ding, ding, ding.
All right, now we're back. So effing close. I almost made it.
Right, now that we're back, I was watching something last night about mental health, and it seems like your country, there's a lot of mental health issues. So my question was, why is that? Is it because of the drugs? Is it
Television.
something else? 'Cause it seems like not so long ago, people were just told to behave and everybody could behave, and now everything is mental health. Every time there's an issue, it's mental health.
Too much television.
Yeah, this started back in the 80s, giving drugs to children that shouldn't even have been on them. They tried putting me on Ritalin or something like that when I was in first grade because I didn't take my education seriously. I'm sorry, what 6-year-old takes their education seriously? That's what my mom told my teacher. She was like, no, absolutely not. I wouldn't doubt that not just Ritalin and stuff like that. That's just like the precursor to get people onto the Xanax and the Zoloft and all these, what are they, uptake inhibitors or something? I forget the technical term for them.
Serotonin
But all these happy
reuptake.
drugs. Yeah.
SSRI.
Yeah, serotonin uptake.
The reuptake.
Yeah. I think that has a lot to do with the mental illness in this country.
I don't think there's.
You don't want to feel that way? Just take a pill. Don't actually contemplate on why you feel that way or what you can do to change how you feel. You know, change your situation to make it better so you don't feel that way. Here, just take this pill. And then you just won't care about it. It'll keep getting worse, probably even worse than you would have let it before, but you won't care about it. You'll be happy.
So you're saying
Yeah, that's
that
my 2 cents.
most of the cases have to do with, you know, when you were like childhood, what would you call it, childhood medication?
There's some. I think a lot of it comes from too much television. Like, I don't think that there's really a mental health issue in the U.S. I think there's a desire for mental health issues in the U.S. I think people live their life like they're the main character on a television show or in a movie because that's what they spend most of their time doing is watching television shows and movies. And they think it adds to their backstory. I think it makes them interesting. It makes them the lead character in their story to have these obstacles in their life that they overcome with grace and dignity. And most of the shit that they have issues with just don't really exist. Like you hear a lot of people talk about psychopathy and sociopathy. Those things aren't really like diagnosis. Like no psychiatrist is ever going to diagnose you as a sociopath or as a psychopath. Like there's nowhere in that DSM that says, hey, here's what a psychopath is and here's the list of things that makes a psychopath. That's just not a diagnosis. But because it's on television so much, you'll hear people talk about psychopaths and psychopathy and how their ex was a psychopath. But it's just not a thing that really exists. Beyond the television.
So then if, for example, the first example given was the medication that you're given, and I'm with you there, Josh. I don't think people actually have problems. I think it's all really in the head sometimes. I suppose that is a mental issue. I don't know. What is the prognosis for mental health? Well, it's not like they sit and do counseling. Don't they get prescribed more pills?
That's the beauty of a mental health prognosis or even a diagnosis, is that the prognosis is just going to be, more pills. Like there's no cure for the stuff. Like there's not even really like they'll say, oh, you have a chemical imbalance in your brain. But there's not like here's what the chemical balance should be. and here's what yours is, and because yours is this number, and this is the normal number, that's how I know that you've got a chemical imbalance. No, it's nothing like that. They just assume.
Someone was making a correlation between mental health and the homeless situation in the States, which I think was implicit of drug use when you're on the streets.
Say that again?
Yeah. When I was watching this thing, somebody was making the correlation between mental health and the homeless problem in the States. So the issue was affordable housing in the States, and making that correlation of people being on the streets and doing drugs and then having these mental health sort of issues or breakdowns, linking it to not having a home and family and that kind of thing. So not having affordable housing.
Yeah, that sounds like complete and utter fucking nonsense to me.
No, there's people out there that choose to be homeless. This isn't like a theory of mine. They've come out and flat out said it. The state, at least out in California, pays me to be homeless. I get this much a week. It pays for all my food and my drugs. Like, why would I work?
If you're homeless, the state pays you.
In some places, yeah.
Isn't that incentive to stay homeless?
Well, yeah, you would think. That's why they've spent over $25 billion in the last 10 years or something like that fighting homelessness, and it's like tripled in California. Because giving money to people to be homeless, turns out, incentivized more people to become homeless and stay homeless. Because even to the point where they were giving them new credit cards.
If you get housing, you have to pay rent and pay your own food, and so you lose all that money that you were getting for free.
Good morning,
It's crazy, man.
Hey, Andrew.
What up, Andrew B? And in my experience, craziness precedes homelessness. It's not like, oh my God, I can't afford a house, so I'm going to live on the streets and do drugs and go crazy. Usually it's, oh my God, I'm fucking crazy. I can't hold a job. I can't earn money. I won't be able to continue to live in the house I have a mortgage for, and I lose my house, and I have to go live on the street, all because I'm crazy.
Anna says,
have you ever had...
Sorry, Andrew, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I just read that in the chat as well. I'm not going to stick around for too long. I have to go to bed pretty soon. But yes, I can speak on behalf of that a lot for the ex-soldiers. But then again, when it comes to, has anyone ever had someone panhandle, like, hey, can you, like, oh, spare any change or a couple of dollars, but yet they have an iPhone?
Yep.
And so, and yet they smell like trash, literally, or worse. And yet they go into 7-Eleven and they're buying potato chips with an EBT card. So yeah, there's no incentive for them to not do that.
Shit, in Chicago, there's people who would sit there and panhandle and then go and jump into their Mercedes and drive out to their home in the suburbs. That was their job.
My buddy
to go in, dress up like a homeless person, and panhandle. And they made really good money doing it.
Yeah, apparently they can make a couple $100 a day just from standing in an intersection and just preying on the people that are like, oh yeah, by the way, yeah, I'm homeless. Wear some ratty clothes, and yeah, then what they're doing with that money is probably not what people are going to be wanting them to do it with. Like, oh, get some food. And then there's the other aspect of it that, who was just saying it? Walking act, or So on a plane, yeah, I used to work at the Menlo Park Veterans Administration Hospital, which there was no emergency services there or anything like that. But what they specialized there was rehabilitation for homeless veterans, psychiatric care, and then also female veterans that were going through traumatized situations because of female situations in the military, and then also for drug rehab as well, drug and alcohol rehab. And it was like a huge chunk. It was like half of the facility. And one day I was driving down the road going to work, and there was a guy standing in an intersection and said, homeless, Desert Storm veteran, anything you can spare, it will be helpful, or whatever the fuck he was saying on his sign. And I put on my hazard lights and I said, hey man, hop into my car. I will take you to the VA hospital right now, and I'll get you all the assistance you need. And he said, no. So, yeah, that's a choice. Or he was lying. And that's often, I think, they use that, the bullshit, oh, I'm a combat veteran, blah, blah, blah. They use that as an excuse. I'm a combat veteran. I've never been homeless.
Yeah, it's not just the homeless people that do that either. I mean, there's people with, houses and cars and their own businesses who will go around telling people, I'm a combat veteran, just to get empathy.
Yeah, that's called stolen valor, which, in my opinion, there's actually
a felony now.
Legal charge against it. Oh, is it now?
Yeah, they made it a felony.
So, just guys, a question: how does a soldier become homeless? I thought if you're a soldier, you have a job for life.
No. Once they're done with you, they're done with you.
It's like taking your new car and never changing the oil, never adding oil, never doing any maintenance. You just drive that brand new car balls to the wall until it just dies. And then you give it back and you get another one. And you never think about that car again. That's how they treat the soldiers. They'll just use the soldiers up, throw them away, and that's about the extent of it.
Well, some of them also, these veterans that happen to be, let's just say they work in the accounting or personnel office, and then they claim, oh yeah, well, I have PTSD now. Like, from what? They never deployed. All they did is stay on base, shore duty the entire time. Yeah, granted, they had to get up and exercise and or PT as they call it, and go to the gun range and qualify. But that's about the extent of their military experience. Oh, in boot camp. Ooh, boot camp's fucking easy. But other people like myself, three combat deployments to Iraq, and I've got PTSD from that. But I'm not sitting around on a street corner saying, "Hey, can I have $5 for whatever?" But some people, they know it tears on the heartstrings of people, and therefore, that's how they get their money. Stand out there for long enough, and they make, according to my buddy, so I dared him to do it, and he said he made like $200. He was out there for like 10 hours, and I was like, that sounds shitty. I wouldn't do that for $200, but I dared him to do it, and I proved him wrong.
Shit, that's more than a lot of people make working a 10-hour shift.
Yeah, and that's tax-free, too. That's just cash in the pocket kind of situation. So, veterans do not necessarily just get free benefits the rest of their life. They have to have a 30% disability rating or higher and have to be reevaluated on a regular basis to make sure that their disabilities have not improved or gotten worse. And then
Buddy hated that.
Can I just ask why, though? Because
why what?
You guys you are in constant wars anyway. We don't have wars that we participate in, but all of our soldiers, if you're a soldier, you have a job for life. They'll find something for you to do. You'll get a paycheck, medical insurance, whatever, for life. Why does a state that's involved in all of these wars throw away their soldiers?
It's a very complicated thing, but yeah, different countries require. Just go. Is it mandatory when you graduate from high school? At some point, you have to register for the or just have mandatory 2 or 3 years of military service. Is that a thing in South Africa?
That was before the democratically elected government. Before they had to do that.
Okay.
Now, no.
Well, that's never been a thing in America, but a lot of countries have that actual rule, whether it be the Middle East, in Europe, I think it's like a mandatory thing. And they can choose at that point whether they want to stay in the military or not. But it's like almost the same thing as a draft. And we've had drafts in World War I, World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War. We haven't had one since, but they've threatened to do it multiple times. But what's going to be happening here pretty soon is we're not going to need that because recruitment numbers are going up like sky high at the moment, which is basically just showing that they're giving incentives like, oh yeah, if you enlist in a certain position, then you'll get this enlistment bonus. So you get like half of it after your first year, and then they give you stipend pay after that every single year until the end of the contract, which is called your EOC, end of contract. And sometimes those incentives are up to like $50,000 or $60,000, depending on the job that people are going into. And then there's also re-enlistment bonuses, depending on the job, again. And those can also be very high amounts of money. Well, relatively. And then when it comes to why is the United States involved in so many wars, I would say there's a country in the Middle East that starts with the letter I and ends with the letter L. That's why.
Isn't it funny that there's been more wars since the UN has been founded than all the other wars added together throughout history? War wasn't something that happened, on a regular basis back in the day. And I'm sure there was, small skirmishes and this and that. There always have been. But like large scale, big country versus big country wars weren't all that common. Like we've had more since the UN was founded, more big skirmishes and wars than all the other ones we can add up throughout history. That's crazy. And the whole point of the United Nations was to stop war from happening. Anybody else seeing a problem here?
Yes, and it was the wife of, I think it was Mayor Amschild Rothschild, and she said if my sons did not want war, war would not exist. And that was pre-United Nations. It's true. Like if the richest people in the world were like, yeah, fuck you, we're not going to do that. We're like, oh yeah, we're just going to have fun. It's like playing the game of Risk. But yet, meanwhile, they're sipping back on their tea, enjoying, their luxurious homes and staying under the radar kind of situation. It's pretty fucked up.
More money is spent during wartime.
Oh, massive amounts.
Just the fact that more money has to be spent means that their banks get used more. And they make more money. Yeah, I forget which Rothschild it was. But he said, I don't care who your leader is. You could have a king, a president, whatever. That doesn't matter. I just want to control the money.
Oh, yeah.
That's all they're interested in. Just controlling the monetary value.
Well, Mayor Amschild Rothschild said, again, he was I think he was like the middle baron out of the different ones that there are. And he said, I care not who runs the government as long as I can control, as long as I can control the monetary system.
Mm-hmm.
Something.
And then Andrew, don't
It's a long
soldiers
time.
have a higher proportion of people that have these mental health issues?
I can't speak on behalf of that. Well, I know that.
PTSD labeled as a mental health issue.
Oh, you said mental? I thought you said dental.
No, mental health.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And when anyone goes and works for the VA, it's a 16-hour. It's 2 8-hour days. You get paid for it. It's just the entire part of the, coming in and you already hired, that kind of thing. And what they do is they show you that there's these different professions throughout the United States that have certain suicide rates. Like, you'd think, oh yeah, police officers, firefighters, ambulance, emergency personnel, things like that. And combat veterans, well, actually just veterans in general, have a 400% more likely chance of committing suicide than any other of those other things you think it would be. And granted, those people definitely have PTSD as well. How many cops have had to see or shoot people and come into like a crime scene or something? And it's pretty fucking crazy. But still, the veterans, there's something unique about them. And this is my theory. I can't necessarily prove it, but there's evidence that I'm going to. I've said this before, and that is veterans, people that enter the military, they're required to get a certain amount of injections in their arms. It's really weird. Every fucking veteran knows what I'm talking. Josh, you know what I'm talking about. It's like boot camp.
All too well.
And then, yeah, and then you're required to continue getting those injections. It's typhoid, yellow fever, malaria, anthrax, smallpox. And the list goes on and on and on. So, police officers and paramedics don't have that. They're not required to, not to the same extent. So I think that a lot of those are just dummy shots, in my opinion. But either way, some people are getting the full dose of whatever it happens to be. And I've received every single fucking vaccine you can possibly, except for the whole CV-19 situation. That I'll never get a vaccine again. It's actually, I don't even believe in vaccines anymore. I think it's just a bunch of nonsense. But that's my theory as to why people that were in the military, yeah, it starts affecting their nervous system and their neurological system. And that's all I have to say for now, because I think it's getting pretty close to break, so I'm not going to jabber on for any much longer.
It's pretty close
to the break, and then I'm going to get going a little bit after the next break here.
And there's probably a lot to be said for living months at a time on a completely depleted adrenal gland, when sleeping becomes stressful and waking becomes stressful. Seems like you might be able to induce a lot of trauma, mental anguish that way.
Mm-hmm. Trauma-based mind control.
Interesting fact, the United States does not have a draft. Thought that was interesting. You still got to register for the Selective Service, but there's no draft in the U.S.
Well, there was.
There was.
There isn't anymore.
There is not anymore. There could be again. Yeah. That's why you have to register for the Selective Service, but there's not right now. Okay. All right. Let's take a break. We're going to be back for hour number 2. Probably, as soon as my phone opens. Just do it. For hour number 2 of the IRONWORX. We'll be back.
never too early to learn that the government is a greedy piglet that suckles on a taxpayer's teat until they have sore, chapped nipples.
Good morning. I'm here. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up!
What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Where everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Okay, dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe the dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there. There was one? There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard.
And welcome back to the first half of the second half of the IRONWORX, kicking off right now. That was the Expendables. Sorry. Go ahead, Nuka. Do what you do.
Right, so looking at the falling rate of marriages, this is all over the world, but in particular the States. We already have stats that show that for a child to do well academically, be emotionally well and healthy, you need both parents to be in the same household, involved in the upbringing of that child.
Mm-hmm.
So with the falling marriage rate and lack of intact families, where does that leave the youth? Is that why we're seeing the outright disrespect from younger people, the youth, because there's no fathers in the home, or they're not part of a circular family?
Probably got a big part to do with it. Yeah. I think there are people on the internet that will tell you that feminism and this idea that men and women can be equal is a big part of the problem. And that women's women attempting to be equal with men and saying, you know what I should do is go to college, graduate college, go get a job, make myself steady and secure in my job. Then I should have a family. And when I've got about 4 or 5 years left of biologically able to create children, that's when I'm going to decide to settle down. And hopefully I can squeeze out healthy children in those last 4 or 5 years when I'm 40 years old, because I've gone to college, got stable in my career, and then decided to go with the family route instead of doing it in the other direction, where you get married, have children. When the children are finally grown and out of the house, you decide, okay, I'm going to go back to school, and then you go to school, go to college, and then you want to do something and you get a job. But I think there's a big problem with that because, every single metric there is, as far as kids are concerned, a child has a far better outcome with 2-parent household. Like, hands down, no matter what. Like, even if the parents don't get along and the parents don't like each other and the parents are absolutely miserable in the life that they've created for themselves, having 2 miserable parents in the house raising the children is still better than 1 mom or 1 dad. Just based on the number.
And there's no incentives for people to just point it out. Feminism.
Well, they've de-incentivized it, as a matter of fact. When you make it possible to say, you know what? I just don't feel like my husband is in love with me anymore. But the neighbor down the street pays attention to me and makes me feel special. So I'm just going to file for a divorce and break up my family because I want to. And that's going to be good enough. Once the state made a no-fault divorce possible, where you didn't need a reason, irreconcilable differences is good enough. Nobody needs to be at fault. You can just say, meh, I'm done.
I personally wouldn't mind that if a woman decided to say that about me and go bang the neighbor down the street, so long as it didn't take off my shit with her.
Well, and that's the other part of the incentivization of the destruction of the family, is because when she does do that, she gets half your shit.
You know what this is reminding me of is that one scene in Fight Club when Brad Pitt is talking to Edward Norton and he's saying, like, oh yeah, so Dad, I graduated from high school. Now what? Go to college. Okay, graduate from college. Now what? Okay, go get a job. Okay, now what? Get married. This seems to be a very obvious course of things for men to do. But then if you were to flip the roles of the sexes, then it might be somewhat similar, but at the same time, yeah, have a family, and then at that point, I'm a very old-fashioned guy when it comes to the morals and values of the family structure, because that's exactly what my parents did, and I turned out, I think, okay. And a lot of people didn't have that. They grew up in a single parent household, mother or father. Single mother households are probably the worst, only because they're having to fend for themselves and potentially getting more pregnant and blah, blah, blah.
Abuse. Child abuse rates are so much higher in single mother households. Like astronomically higher. Just because of she'll bring in some strange guy, and the strange guy comes in, and for whatever reason, maybe he's going to get rough and start to abuse the kids, and there ain't jack shit that mom can fucking do about it. She's likely to be just as abused as the child is, and now she's in a situation. Whereas a single father comes and he introduces a woman into the kid's life, and she gets a little physical with the kids, he puts a stop to that shit right away.
Is that why I was beating up all my girlfriends?
Probably. That, and they just wouldn't listen.
No, I'm kidding. No, I'm just... No, bad joke.
We don't have
guys.
a woman on this panel to sort of speak on behalf of the other side here, from a woman's point of view.
True. But I'm also the result of a single mother household who is probably psychologically damaged by the psychological damage of my mother. Like that generational shit's no joke. I'm sure it's less than what she went through, but I still shouldn't have been made to feel responsible for her feelings. But then just the whole raising a young boy through the eyes of a woman just doesn't work. It's a whole feminized worldview that just doesn't work and creates a conflict with what's going on in your brain versus what's going on out in the real world, and it causes a big division and a chasm between what's in your brain versus what the reality of the situation is, because single families. What were you saying, Nuka?
No, just to expand on that, we were talking about, two parents. But what happens when it's two women or two men?
Probably better, but I wouldn't say that if you're going to be raising...
Think it's better for a child?
No, it could be, but the weird thing about it that I've heard a lot of evangelical right-wing type of people discussing as of late is the gay marriage aspect, where if you... Now, I don't even want to look up the stats on it, but they were saying that gay men that are married, they're now allowed to actually adopt children. And from what I've been told, 90% of the children they adopt are boys. They're males. And that's very strange. Yet there's over 2 million people that are on, 2 million couples that are on the adoption waiting list. And that's where the anti-abortion thing comes in. Like, well, all right, we'll have the baby, put it up for adoption, and then therefore you can go move forward with your life and not care about whatever your offspring is going to be doing at that point. I think it's weird, but even though I do think abortion should be legalized and it should be legal one time, and I'm kind of harsh with this, okay? Like, all right, one abortion, whatever reason you want. After that, you castrate them. Like, forcibly, medical castration. The male and the female. And I know it's very fucking harsh and extreme, but that's my point of view. It's like, all right, let's solve the problem.
But why do you think abortion should be legal even one time?
There's a lot of different reasons. Well,
like the
global
purge.
affairs, I think, should be.
It's kind of like the purge. Just one night a year, you get to go out and do whatever the fuck you want.
Well, the people that want abortions shouldn't be having children anyway. So they're just going to be reproducing into the world. They're off. If they're going to keep that child, then it's not going to work out well for them. It's not going to work out for society.
I mean, does that make a lot of sense, though? The people that... Wait. So the people that want to get abortions are not going to raise healthy children into the world? Are they not? They're not going to raise any children into the world, right? Because they're the ones that want the abortions, right? Which means they won't be bringing any children in, right?
Right, but maybe I said that wrong. I apologize. But the people, you're not going to go into a Southern Baptist church and be like, how many people here have had an abortion? Like, raise your hand. And there's going to be like, nobody. But then you go into, I don't know, a Planned Parenthood, and like, how many people here are getting an abortion? Like, everyone raises their hand. Like, oh, which political spectrum are you associated with? And then they're like, oh, yeah, liberal, hardcore liberal left side. And it's like, all right, well, looks like those people are going to basically be, they're not contributing anything, but yet Planned Parenthood actually gets a whole bunch of money from taxpayers, and I think Planned Parenthood should be completely shut down entirely. I'm surprised that the whole Doge Act with Elon Musk didn't actually go against that, but I guess they're like, go ahead, whatever. But then the other aspect of abortions is if obviously it would still be considered an abortion if it's a stillborn fetus, meaning it's already dead, or
no.
If the doctor says, oh, it's not considered an abortion?
No.
Well, it's aborting the dead baby.
No. Why would you need to abort it if it's already dead?
Because they have to remove it.
Sure, but why would you have to abort it?
Okay, I guess semantics is something I'm getting mixed up here.
Well, and I think semantics are very important. Because that's
I agree.
Just the definitions. So I think, like, removal of a fetus is not an abortion.
Yeah, it's one of the more conflicting types of arguments that people have been talking about.
What would be the difference between a stillbirth and an abortion? Because they're clearly two different things, but in both cases, the fetus would have to be removed. But one's a stillbirth.
Well, one's dead and one has a heartbeat.
That's right. So one's an abortion and one's a stillbirth. Meaning at one point they both have heartbeats, but then after a certain point, neither one does. Yeah?
So, Andrew, just to expand on what you were saying about the abortion. So, say now in this scenario, I have a lady friend, we messed around, she got pregnant. She says she's going to have an abortion. It's going to get in her way of her career or schooling or whatever it is. And I say, well, that's my baby. You'll be killing my baby. And she says, well, I don't give a shit. I'm going to go have an abortion. There's no legal recourse for me to punish her or get the child back. Yet, if I don't want the baby and she wants the baby, she can have the baby and make me pay for the baby. There's always legal recourse for her as the woman and the child, while I have no rights or no my what I want doesn't come into play with her decision making. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I completely agree, and that's one of the things that a lot of these abortion activists, pro or against, fail to bring up. Sort of like if I knock up some chick and I say, oh well, you have to have an abortion now. Well, isn't the child 50-50? It was both of our responsibility. But yet the woman can just go into Planned Parenthood and have that done without the knowledge of the man. Whether the man wanted to actually have that child born at all is irrelevant to that point. But when it comes to, the woman, well, I'm carrying the baby, therefore I get to make the choice. It's like, well, that baby's only there because it was the two of us. All right, it gets off into the weeds really quick, but
Well, I should have the right then. If I don't want the baby, and she wants the baby, I should have the right not to pay for the baby. That should be my legal recourse then.
that's not how it works in the U.S., though.
I think it is.
That's not how it works anyway.
No, you can you can sign away your parental rights.
Well, she can also just say, hey, I'm going to get knocked up as many times as possible and get a whole bunch of food stamps and welfare and basically, or what do they call it? It's not alimony. It's called
child support.
Child support. Yeah, and some women do that on purpose. Like, I met a chick years ago who I was going to hook up with, and I was like, oh, you have 5 kids. Oh, okay. How old are they? And not a single one of them was over the age of 15. So she was just getting child support and massive amounts of welfare and food stamps. And at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm not even going to fucking touch you. And, like, I'm deleting your number kind of situation.
So here's a scenario for you, Andrew. My girlfriend is pregnant. I don't want the baby. She wants the baby. I go and I get the pill that gets rid of the baby, right? It's still early enough that she can just take a pill. I take the pill. I put it in her drink. She drinks the drink. She doesn't know it's there. She has an abortion. She thinks it's a miscarriage, whatever. She finds out that I did that to her. Can she legally go to the cops and say I killed her baby?
Good question. I don't fully
think,
comprehend. How that
You giving it to her without her knowledge, I think that would be
she doesn't know anything.
Yeah. And then she found out, I think she would have the legal precedent to say, hey, you did a medical
I've seen other cases.
intervention.
I've seen other cases where they somebody murders a pregnant person, and then they also count the baby.
I was going to say, a woman can be crossing the street on her way to have an abortion, and she can get hit by a car, and the driver of that car would be charged with a double homicide for killing her and her baby.
Right. Okay, so if that's the case, if I can get charged for giving her the pill without her knowing, why can't I charge her if she goes and has an abortion, comes back the next day and tells me, oh, I had an abortion, I just didn't want the baby? I have no legal recourse. I can't do anything. Apparently she didn't kill the baby according to law. If I do it for her, I killed the baby. But it's both our baby.
Right, and that goes into the murder
Here's one that'll
aspect.
get you. Say a pregnant woman is walking to Planned Parenthood to get an abortion, then gets hit, and she doesn't die, but the baby dies. Would that be considered murder?
Involuntary manslaughter, I think is what it's called.
Or would it be like a $200 present? Like there's money you didn't have to spend. I just saved you a trip to Planned Parenthood.
I think a lot of Planned Parenthood actually does it for free. I don't know. I don't even know where Planned Parenthood is.
Look, I'm just making up numbers, Andrew. I couldn't tell you how close or far away that number was. I have no clue.
But don't get it wrong, Andy. They get taxpayer dollars. Somebody's paying for it.
Yeah. The other people I think that the women that should be allowed to get abortions, and I know that, again, this is going to seem a little harsh, because even though evangelists say no ifs, ands, or buts, there's no question to it whatsoever, is incestual rape, which is absolutely fucking terrible. And at that point, that woman, I mean, she may have been drugged, a little roofie in her cocktail drink, and then all of a sudden somebody in her family impregnates her. She's like, well, I didn't want that. There was no choice in it. And when it comes to that kind of a situation, those children are not going to grow up the same as everyone else. They're going to have many different mental and physical issues versus how everyone else that's normal, that doesn't have that kind of situation. Then the mother is like, yeah, okay, I want to have a child.
How about
I don't
Down
have
syndrome?
A child with my brother.
What about Down syndrome kids? If you get the test and the mom finds out that her child's going to have Down syndrome, could you just abort it then? Perfectly healthy mom, perfectly healthy dad, not related, but we know that child's going to have Down syndrome. Should you be allowed to abort it?
Okay.
Lots of health issues, Andrew. Lots of mental and health issues going to be involved in this.
I get it, but if someone found out that they're going to have some ladies like, oh yeah, by the way, you're going to have the most deformed child imaginable, like the Elephant Man, and the mother's like, oh yeah, by the way, yeah, my brother raped me, and that's the result of it, then I think that should be allowed. But women that are just going to be using it as a pregnancy contraceptive, no, absolutely not. If they're going to do it, you get one of them. And after that, yeah, we're taking out your ovaries. It's harsh. But for the most part, I think a lot of women are very proud. Oh, yeah.
Why would you take out their ovaries?
Slice open their abdomen?
Not how. Why?
Because that would prevent them from getting pregnant. Or just, what do they call it, tying the tubes?
I know we've said...
What would that have to do with... How does that relate to the abortion, though? Like, now that you've had an abortion, because you didn't want one kid now, you can't ever have kids ever?
Well...
Seems like the opposite would be the best way. Like, okay, you only get one, but now you have... When you get pregnant, you're just gonna have to have the baby. So now you better think long and hard and be really careful about when it is you choose to have sex and with whom.
Okay,
now you're going to be held responsible. You have no more choices. There's no other recourse, no option but to be held responsible for your actions now. As opposed to, well, now you don't have to be held accountable for any actions and you can just be whatever kind of whore you want to be.
Yeah, I'm not an expert with this, but I do pay attention to a lot of the debates in regards to it. So I have more extreme types of points of view, and Josh, you are definitely helping enlighten me with correcting my more extreme types of thoughts.
Well, it's really simple, I think. The answer to this debate, the only logically consistent answer is abolitionist movement. The same way we got the slaves freed in America is the same way we get rid of this particular practice, this child sacrifice. That all people are created in the image of God, and therefore that life needs to be protected. Like believing in human rights, right? Let's just say human rights and say yes to human rights. Not like, oh, maybe these over here, maybe human rights for people of this color, or human rights for people of this sex, or human rights for people of this age, or human rights for people in this position. As long as they're not in a womb, then they can have rights, but no rights for that particular human in a womb. And I think that abolishing and saying no, all humans have rights, and all humans should be protected is the only logically consistent way to go about this.
Do you think if they made it to where if you had a child, it was pretty simple to sell it to a family that wants a child for like $50,000? You think people would start having children more? I mean, I know there's services out there set this kind of stuff up, but it's never happened.
Maybe.
This or that.
The thing is, there is a waiting list. It's not as though there's people having babies and there's just no one that wants to adopt them. There's a waiting list. There is a family. There are parents for every single baby that's put up for adoption, and then some.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's enough people out there that want children, they're willing to pay good money for a child because they can't themselves. There's all these people getting abortion and paying for them. When you could get paid to carry the child and have it, a lot more. Just, you would think that would be more of a thing, you know? Like, hey, there's a bunch of people here who want children. Hey, there's a bunch of people here aborting their children. These people are willing to pay really good money for this, and these people are paying for this procedure. Now, I know it'd probably be uncomfortable for, 9 months or whatever. $50,000, more than most people are going to make this year, right? But yeah, I just would figure there would be a market out there for that, like a large market out there.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
They don't want that.
But I'm sure there's a large black market out there as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure.
Hey,
the first one here.
Time for break time.
Yeah, I see. I mean, I don't really have anything picked out, but that's all right. We'll just figure something out. I don't know. All right. All right. We'll just do it because I like Ren. Don't you guys go anywhere. Fourth and final segment of the Ironworks coming up right after this.
Strange times we're living in, welcome put fear in it. Hierarchy parties, they make us feel inferior. Greed runs through parliament interiors. Devils walk among us, they fit the criteria. Eerie theories strike fearing, weary-minded men when we're clearly living in dictatorships. Nearly blinded by illusions to choose, but who's fooling who? Ball chain to your shoes on pain. It's a crying shame. Pursuit of our own wealth lights a flame that makes greed a game that lets the whole world burn. As the world turns, the whole world burns. Money was invented for trade, but now those bits of paper twist hearts, make slaves, turns a saint into a sinner, a child into a killer, his finger on the trigger of a money game.
Oh, rain, 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 the storm it comes our way, and no surprise to distorted lies, poison in the veins, but we die upon the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game. This whole money game. This whole.
Dear Mr. President, it's evident that everyone's a resident of fear when they support these ideas that keep us separate, when they make us believe that everybody is coming to terrorize you in the streets. They say proudly through gritted teeth, it's my right to hate. That's freedom of speech. When did freedom become a reason to hate, a way to justify a racist slur or insult we make? There's an irony in freedom, because us in the West, we have pillaged and plundered and murdered our savages, colonized all of the rest. It's called hypocrisy. Preach a certain value that you'd never keep yourselves. Your country was inflamed, you demigrate yourselves in a second. Still you spit your venom, demonizing immigrants when really you're an immigrant, because all of us are immigrants or descended from immigrants. Irony is imminent, I'll shed the light on immigrants. America was colonized by Britain, Britain it was colonized by Rome, also colonized by the Saxons. They were German, by the way. You know how people throw shade upon the Germans because of history's pain, and yet we make the same mistakes all again. Demonize a whole people, Jewish or Muslim, the same and the same. Old situations play and repeat. The same old TV shows repeat. Yeah, we worship the bleak. Our opinions are our own and we follow like sheep. There's no left, there's no right. In the middle we sleep.
Rain, 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 rain. The storm it comes our way. And those who rise to distorted lies, poison in the face. But we like to point the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this old money game. This old money game. This old money game.
Good morning, good morning. We talked the whole night through. Good morning to you. Good morning, it's great to stay up late. Good morning to you.
Hi, this is Alan. I like IRONWORX because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love IRONWORX with Josh, Walt, and Zack. It's like sitting in your front room having a cozy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that IRONWORX with Josh, Walt, and Zack, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the IRONWORX.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Realm Media is the best on the plane. To the show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to the IRONWORX with Zack, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the IRONWORX and become an Iron Scout.
Wake up, it's a brand new day.
And welcome back to the fourth and final segment of the IRONWORX.
Okay, Josh.
Sir.
Last section. Morality. Okay. Morality's definition is principles concerning the distinction between right and wrong, or good and bad behavior. My question to the panel and people in chat, and I'm sure everyone will have a different answer for this, is what was the biggest thing that helped form your personal sense of morality? Was it your upbringing, meaning from your parents? Was it religious institutions, the God you worship? Was it something you learned at school when you were seeking an education? Or all of the above, or your life experiences? So what was the biggest thing that formed your own personal morality?
What was that, Zach? We're only catching a bit of that.
Just force. I was told what's right and wrong, and shown that, when people do wrong, they're going to have to face the consequences of another's force. So if you do that, you're going to have this force placed upon you that you don't want. So don't do that.
Yeah, I think the law is a strong aspect of how that works, because even though some people are crazy, well, they might do things that are outside the bounds of what someone that's non-crazy would ever do, such as if someone were to go and set fire to a building with the intention of burning it down and killing the people inside, then I think that most people, yes, I'm generalizing, will say no. That's even children Doesn't matter if you're religious or not. We'll say, yeah, you're not supposed to do that. Why would you do that? But a lot of morality is derived from law and also religion. And then just, would it be okay to just walk up behind someone and just punch them in the ear?
Maybe.
It's morality. It's like a random person.
Yeah.
Like an old lady.
What's the old lady doing? Like, is she beating a dog with a stick? Because I'm likely to walk up and punch whoever it is right behind the ear.
Well, I'm just saying, okay, she's like trying to walk.
Like, can I envision a situation where I might have to walk up and punch a random person in the head? Yeah, sure can. And be completely justified and moral in doing so. What was the question?
She brought me tuna casserole when I ordered a hamburger.
She only make that mistake once.
All right, everybody, I got to get going. I love y'all. You guys have a great rest of your day. All that good stuff.
All right, be careful out there.
All right, Zach. Cheers.
Oh, yeah. Head on a swivel.
We'll
You guys have a good one. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, love you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to get going here pretty soon as well. But it goes back into the Batman movie when Alfred is talking to Batman. Well, Bruce Wayne at that point, because he's in his bat cave or whatever the fuck it is. And he said, there's some men that cannot be reasoned with. All they want to do is watch the world burn. And that was the Batman movie with Heath Ledger before he committed suicide.
That's right.
I think he took it's just like a massive amount of drugs or whatever.
Because force makes. Right? Might makes. Might makes.
Well, I don't know what that is.
Well, often the term is might makes right. Like as long as you're strong enough to.
Okay.
But I think I've been convinced to the point that I think it's not even, might doesn't necessarily make right, but it just makes. Everything comes down to force. Because there's no such thing as a right. You don't have a right. Rights are just force.
Well, you have certain rights.
No, you don't.
The right to breathe oxygen.
Show me. Where is it?
Well, I guess it's not in the law.
It's not an action.
It would be illegal to deprive someone of their ability to breathe oxygen.
Not necessarily.
Otherwise, that'd be torture.
Not necessarily.
All right, well.
Like if I come in and stop someone's ability to breathe oxygen, did they have the right to breathe oxygen? If I can just come and take it away at my whim, do they have a right to it?
Well, I think it's inherent.
Based on?
Being alive.
Gives you the right to breathe?
It's a requirement. So therefore, it's not necessarily a right. It's a requirement.
Sure. But not a right.
All right.
Because rights don't exist.
Yeah, you're putting me to it today, Josh.
There's only force. No such thing as rights. As long as we can get enough people to pretend that a right exists, even if it doesn't, as long as enough people pretend that it does, that's all you need. It's a belief.
Are you saying then, Josh, as long as there's enough people that will pretend that exists, there will be people there to enforce it via force or might?
Mm-hmm. Well, especially in America, there will be enough people that can call upon that force. Which is, again, I think kind of is going to circle back to the conversation we were having before the break. Force, whatever right it is you're going to want upheld, you're going to have to call upon men. The strong people, the people with the most amount of strength to come and enforce it. That's their job. That's like the one thing that they're going to be really good at is violence, because they're the strongest and the most violent, the most prone to violence, the most capable of violence. It's their job to use that violence, whether it's to protect or whether it's to assault. That's what it's for. We are the only sex that can do it. Women would be completely ineffective in that role. We have a duty then to use it responsibly, but we have a duty to it because we're the only ones that can do it. That's why we fight in the army, why we fight in the wars, why we do all the horrible, horrible, dangerous jobs, because we're the only ones that can, because women would be ineffectual at it. Same with reproduction. I can't do it.
Yes,
only half the population can, and there should be a duty for the other half of the population. The only half of the population that can do it, there should be a duty there.
Yes, I completely agree. And the last thing I want to say is that a lot of people nowadays are ignoring the family cohesion that has existed still exists today, but it's just dwindling in my experience, where women want to go out to the workforce, and so do the men. Well, the men pretty much have to, but some women, granted, if I were to marry some chick that was a lawyer and she was making an absurd amount of money, and she's like, oh yeah, just get me pregnant and then be a stay-at-home dad, I'd be like, I wouldn't be happy with it, but it's very rare for that to happen. Huh?
It'll never work, Andrew. She's the one making all of the money and you are the one staying at home. She will eventually come to resent you.
Yeah, it's circumstantial. But I have never been in that situation. I've always made more money than... I was engaged at one point. So I know what it's like to have that. In my previous ex-fiance, she had 3 kids that I was helping raise. And they called me daddy. But at the same time, I brought home the bacon, metaphorically speaking. And that's what a lot of women want. They want someone to be a protector. They want the men to provide. It's a part of our responsibility, and it's a heavy burden to carry. But then again, women also have to carry
a certain amount, and that used to come with a certain amount of respect from people and women and other men alike. And now, not so much.
I think because there's a lot of women, again, I think due to television and movies and the internet, confuse sexual attraction with lifelong partnership. They think just because men want to fuck them, that means that men want to settle down and spend their life with them. And so I think women are a bit, they tend to punch above their weight class. And they think that just because
I think that's
men
very
want
well
to,
said.
Yeah. Not my original thoughts either.
Going into different societies or cultures throughout the world, doesn't really matter what country it's in, a lot of people will still understand that there's the husband-wife scenario, and the more religious they are, the more they're going to enforce it or abide by it. But go out and, there was that one movie called What is a Woman by Matt Walsh, where he goes out to Uganda or something like that. Anyways, and he was asking them the role of the family, and can a man become a woman? And they were just like, what? So they understood that the women have a role, and so do the men. The men have to kill the fucking animals and then bring them home. and then skin them and let the women cook the meal and take care of the kids, and then also be somewhat, actually, well, very much protective of their offspring. But it's the men's responsibility as well. We're the hunter-gatherers, which is not an easy thing. Nowadays, it's not the same thing. I'm not, going and throwing spears at a zebra or something like that, and then dragging it 2 miles back to the tribe. But that is something that used to happen and still does happen. I would say probably every single day. And a lot of women are like, no, I'll go out. I'll kill the zebra. Or whatever people are going to be eating over there. In Uganda. I think it's mostly like pigs and stuff, or boars. Anyways, that's not the specific point. I think that men have low testosterone nowadays, and it's time to man up and stop bitching out on their responsibilities. And the women have to accept that men are willing to do that. And a man that loves a woman and wants to have a family with her will do anything required. I mean, aside from, something absolutely nuts. But, yeah, they'll do anything they can. They'll work a 2-hour shift, a double shift every single day just to provide.
Hey, Andrew, I know you don't have kids. So, let's say you have a daughter, right?
Yep.
What would you say to your daughter in terms of what kind of man she should look for, number one, and how should she, as a woman, treat a man?
If I had a daughter.
Yeah.
Well, it's so hypothetical, I have a hard time answering it, but my ex-fiance, she had 2 girls, and then a boy, so three children, and they were separated by 3 separate fathers. And let's put it this way, that didn't last. But when it comes to, restate the question, I'm a little confused.
Okay. Basically, I'll simplify it for you. You as a man want a woman to treat you a certain way, yes?
Yeah.
What would you say to your daughter in terms of how must she look after a man? She's involved with somebody, a husband, boyfriend, whatever. How should she behave and how should she look after a man? And then also, what should she look for in a long-term partner in men? Because you know men, you've hung around men.
Oh, okay. Good question. But if I was a single father, I think that's kind of what you're alluding to. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, at that point, I would raise her to the best of my ability as I would think that a regular woman would, but I would also probably hope that my sister and my mom would be involved in that. Let's say I have no chance of getting married, or I have no girlfriend or whatever else. Don't want to get remarried, whatever. So then I would incorporate the other women in my life. They would give them way better advice than me. And
Andrew, you're
I would say,
pussyfooting on this. Andrew,
I
you're
am
pussyfooting
not-
and popping out.
How about
You're talking about other people getting involved. I'm saying there's only you and your daughter. How do you want to be treated as a man? What are you saying to her?
as a man, well, I'm in charge.
As a father, right? Father, as you, I'm going to set the rules, and it's my house. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. Like, how do
For a
you,
young girl,
for your daughter to treat you as a father, or what kind of advice would you give your daughter as to how to treat her husband?
Yes.
So if traditionally women stay at home and take care of the house and take care of the kids, and men go out and they earn the living and they come home and sort of are in control of the family, whereupon then the wife submits to the husband, would you recommend traditional gender roles for your daughter, where she stays at home with the kids and takes care of the house and submits to her husband? Or would you suggest more of a modern, go to school, get a job, earn a big bunch of money, be a boss bitch, and do whatever the fuck you want, and don't live your life for no man?
Well, I would say the former, meaning that, yes, women and men have to have certain role identities that are associated with who they are. And if I had a boy instead of a girl, it would be the complete opposite. And I would still teach that. I would preach it, and I still have. And it's just, I was born with a dick and testicles. So, and I'm bigger than women. And I'm not saying I'm smarter, but a lot of people are going to say, well, whatever, why can't you just reverse the roles? Well, there's a reason that 95% of the construction population in the world is men. And a lot of societies are fully aware of that. Women have no problem with it. But the women that want to go against it, I would say they are going against the grain of what is normal. Normal, natural, and also responsible. So that I'm not really sure if I'm answering your question. I'm not trying to pussyfoot around the answer, Nuga, but yes, I think that I'd feel like a bitch if I wasn't like, oh yeah, by the way, my wife, she only makes $30,000 a year, and I can make a lot more, but I send her out to make all the money. Yeah, I'd feel like a bitch.
And
I think a lot of people
just the part about looking for the right one. Wouldn't you say to the girl, I mean, we're assuming she's old enough now, she's around 18 or 16 or whatever it is. Wouldn't you say, listen, if you're even half decent looking, men are going to try to fuck you. You're going to walk in a room, if there's 100 men there, assume 100 men will want to fuck you. The key here is to pick the right guy, to give the right guy a chance to be able to fuck you and not spread your legs to anyone. Pick the person that wants to take you out on a date, wants to meet your parents, hangs out with your friends, is down to earth, is humble, and knows his role as a man, instead of the bad boy with the cool tattoos and a fucking motorcycle. No? Isn't that what you'd say to a girl?
Mm-hmm. When people are looking for a mate, and by the way, I don't look for a mate. Yeah, I think that some women are going to be attracted to me because of different aspects, and other ones are going to be like, no, fuck you. I don't want anything to do with that. But I would also look at a woman the same exact way. I think it's just part of human nature. So once you find that correct mate, then I think everything's going to work itself out. Hopefully. But then again, I'm no expert. I've been very, very promiscuous in my life. And that's all I have to say at the moment, because it's getting close to that time. And I'm sorry, I haven't been looking at chat at all. Let me scroll up.
Yeah, we only got about 90 seconds.
Holy fuck. God, everyone's piling on me. What the fuck?
I did not see a pile on in the chat. I'll say that.
Well, okay, more than...
Maybe a couple people might have had something to say, but hardly.
Yeah, with all the babies you abandoned. They called you daddy.
Oh, I didn't abandon any of them.
All right, I guess we got to probably get out of here.
It's fine. I've got other topics for next time I'm on. I'll set them up here.
Ask me anything. But you have to wait till Wednesday to do it, because we won't be back till then. But I do appreciate y'all hanging out this morning. Always a good time. Did I mention we'll be back Wednesday? Wednesday and Friday. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. Central on YouTube and on Rumble. Though Nemo's not awake, so nobody is watching in Rumble or commenting in the chat on Rumble. So until then, you guys have a great rest of your week. Happy Monday. Be good, be well. Do good, do it well. We love you. Bye-bye.
Yesterday, Paranormal, we had Josh Corey on, who is the Flat Earther. He looks just like you would think. Not crazy, just very serious. I mean, everything I say. He's a conspiracy guy.